Good afternoon, everybody. This is Lisa Ware, Senior Group Leader. It's the Tuesday 4:30 Yessave team coaching. And sorry, there was a blip last week, but the blip was duly needed because I was away on a 700 plus club, UWW magic holiday, absolutely magic holiday. But I want to share things with you. So some people would say, I'll not do a thing. But a brand new partner that I brought in that came from the Dorset County show, and her name is Arsha Osborne Sutton. She's in financial services, and she's just had a little baby boy. And when I met her, he was only 2.5 months. His name's Theo. I meet Theo all the time now on appointments. Baby comes too. She's actually proving that actually she finds reasons, not excuses, why to do this. And in the space of November, for the first appointment was on the 1st of November, she was wanting to have £250 a month. And she's now sitting on £1,250 a month, which is absolutely fabulous. Really good. Why hasn't she hit the 6? I'll tell you why. Because she joined, and this is really important to all of you, please ensure that they're able to get going fast. Could you mute? Because I can hear all sorts of noise. Sorry. She joined, but things got in the way, life. And so the first appointment, although she joined on the 23rd of October, the first appointment wasn't till the 1st. So actually, had she got going immediately, she would be one of those people that would be a QD star. Today is her first recruit. So it's all been done, and very quickly. And this was a lady that wanted £250. Now, I have been recruiting for 21 years. I've been learning how to recruit for 21 years. Learning, all right? That's the big thing here. I'm still learning, all right, along with everybody. And there are lots of things that I can say that I've learned why people don't get going, but I'd rather focus on the positives, why they do get going. Just to get it out of the way, some people will join, they will see it all. This is fact. They will see it all. They realise it's a really good thing. And doesn't it make sense to want to help people reduce their bills? Oh God, how good is that in financial crisis? However, I think the penny drops usually through the Fast Start plan that they've got to do some work. And I think that's the bit that a lot of people are like, oh dear, I've actually got to pick up the phone and make some calls. And that's the bit that's hard. Let's be honest with everybody here. Of any part of what we do, the bit for everybody, and it doesn't matter whether you're in two days, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, or 20 years, picking up the phone is the thing that most of us don't want to do. And I can see Mel nodding, but I just had a chat with Mel, and in 10 minutes she made a call and she got an appointment. And actually, it's just doing it. So how do you get somebody going? How do you get them up and going fast? We do a Fast Start plan, and the point of that is to truly find out their reasons why they want to do this. I promise all of you, if the reasons aren't strong enough, there is nothing in this world that is ever going to make somebody go. It won't happen. They've got to have a good reason, because there is a lot of stuff that's going to get in the way. So there's life, there's family, there's husbands, there's wives, there's partners, there's children, there's work. Oh my God, there is so many reasons why not to. But actually, if you look at all that stuff, shouldn't those be the reasons why you want to do this? Because you want to fill up your time. All right. So we've got to really drill down and find out. So there are 5 key factors here that are going to help somebody get going. Number 1, as a partner, we've got to have empathy. Must have empathy. Empathy is that thing is where you treat others the way you'd like to be treated. But what about treating others the way they want to be treated? Yeah. You've got, so to have empathy, you've got to actually really listen. Active listening. Let's all be honest. How many times do we really listen? There's a lot of times when we say we're listening, but we're already formulating the next sentence that we want to put in. That's not listening. Sometimes we think we're listening and we're actually not. Have you ever been to a party and been introduced to somebody, and you're introduced and you're told their name? How many times have you not caught that name? We're all guilty, aren't we? We're not really listening. So listening to people is key, okay? It's absolutely key. We need to have a self-awareness. This is the next thing. You need to have self-awareness. What does self-awareness mean? It means that the ability to be able to change your style to be like a chameleon, to change and adapt to the person you're in front of. So if I was to talk to, for example, on here, Lindsay, I know Lindsay is a green character. He's analytical. He just probably gets incredibly excited at charts and graphs and stats and all that stuff. And if I really want to engage with Lindsay, I know I've got to give him some of that he wants. Whereas I can say somebody like Elaine, who's in here, is very a caring person. She thinks of others all the time. She used to be a teacher, has come out of teaching. And teachers, by their very nature, are people that want to do good. So I've got to be that kind of person with Elaine, which would be different to how I'd be with somebody like, I'm looking for the right person on here. I'm probably going to say, I know she's listening, is Michelle. Michelle is a little bit red like me. And Michelle is direct. Do you know what? You can just sort of like give her the facts, this is what you got to do, and Michelle will do it. I know that. So you've got to have this self-awareness of how to adapt your style, your tonality when you're with somebody. So what's the other things? You've got to ask the right questions. If you want to get somebody going off the starting block and working well, you've got to ask a lot of questions. Can I say in my Fast Start plan, I often spend a lot of time asking lots of questions to really find out about them. Now, I've just interviewed somebody and I've interviewed them massively. And I've asked loads of questions. And I've got a whole A4 load of notes here, because with the best will in the world, I don't remember everything. I've made loads and loads of notes. So what kind of questions do you need to ask? We've got to ask open questions. They've got to be what, where, who, why, how. Questions that they're going to answer, and they won't give you a yes and no answer, because you're out to find out about them. Now, let me explain about this questioning. If you're good and you're real, it's genuine. You're taking a genuine interest. Really takes I've got that. I'll answer that in a moment. Thank you, Solomon. Got that. How you've really got to understand and want to know about them. It's no good doing it because at the back of your mind, you're thinking, sorry guys, if I'm saying stuff out, but you're thinking, well, if I hurry up and sign up this partner, this is going to give me the magical Christmas feast. It's going to be another point on my holiday. If you're doing that, there's nothing about the focus about, well, actually, I'm giving somebody the chance to change their life forever. So what we're doing is actually building a relationship, a genuine one, a friendship, an absolute friendship that you actually care. All right. And I promise you, people know when you care. There's a saying which Robert Barris, who brought me in, says, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And actually, that is such a good saying, and it's absolutely the truth. Because if you want people to be in and to stay and to feel that this is going to be something good, I think you've got to form a good relationship. All right. I think that's really important. Okay. While you're interviewing someone and having a chat, you need to take some notes, like I've done. And you also need to give feedback. Feedback's important. Okay, really important. And on that note, there is a fantastic book, which is a real starter book. It's Alan Pease, Questions Are the Answers. Love it. It's just so good. It's a fundamental, I would say, in what we do. Okay, a real fundamental. So now let me tell you about getting people going. The most important thing is you've got to form a relationship. It's no good signing somebody up and letting 2-3 days pass and you don't speak at all. It's never going to work. In fact, I think when you first sign them up, you need to speak to them every single day in that first week. Every single day, you need to touch base. Because if you don't, every single hour in those first few days builds a chasm because of all that stuff in the background that can get in the way. I mean, we used to, in the old days, we used to go to opportunity presentations. We'd all turn up in a room, wouldn't we? Two people would do a presentation and it was great. And you could see some guests there and they were really enthused.
Sorry, not to do that.
Helen, could you, hang on, could you mute? Hang on.
Oh, just a minute, Mum. Sorry. Sorry, Lisa.
Yes, please. If you could mute. Thank you. Yeah, people would come to these presentations and they'd be invited by partners, guests, and ever so excited. But you could bet your life, by the time they'd driven home, got back to their partner, they'd have already got some negative stuff thrown at them. Why did you drive 2 hours? What? And they want a lot of money. What? And you've got to do this and you've got to do that. You can just hear it, can't you? And you can also, there'll be people that could be work colleagues the next morning that would probably say, it's one of those pyramid things. I've heard about those. Right scam. Pyramid. Yeah, right scam, that is. So all the time they're being bombarded with negativity. We've got to help them overcome that. Now, one of the things that Steve Critch, NNL, top dog, brilliant, used to do in the old days, he used to draw 2 stools. I've done this before. Stools of belief. So a stool generally has 3 legs, doesn't it? Yeah. Imagine each leg is a belief. So someone comes along right at the start and hits them with a negativity, 1 leg gone. What happens to the stool? Instantly falls over. Belief gone. We've got to help them get to a stool that has about 100 legs, 100 legs of belief. So if they get hit with a negativity, one of them won't matter. It won't matter. Every single day, rubbish happens to us. And I've just been kind of pouring my heart out because she asked me to mail all the stuff going on in my life, which is so, it's so bad. This is my sanity. This keeps me level now. And yes, things do happen in this. But I actually, because I'm such a long way down the line, instead of my emotions going like this, my emotions are much more like that. So it doesn't matter how much negativity people throw at me, it won't hurt me now because my beliefs are strong. So how do we help them? We've got to keep in touch, folks. If you bring in someone and you are not speaking to them most days, or if their proven and preferred method of communication, say it was WhatsApp, you know, you can do the voice notes. They're great, aren't they? And the reason the voice notes are great is because they can hear your passion, your intonation, and there's less chance of ambiguity and them misunderstanding something wrong. Really good way. It's just a little touch base. I'll put it to all of you. When, I hate this terminology, upline, but when you get a call from somebody that's in your upline or someone else and you have a natter, how good do you feel? You feel good, don't you? So now transfer that and say, that's got to be the new partner. That's what you've got to do with them. And in the old days, when we used to do opportunity presentations, we used to do something called window dressing. So, for example, Annette's on here. Annette used to be a veterinary nurse. If Annette brought in someone that was a hairdresser that she'd met, she would probably, if a lady called Christine Wise was in there that's a hairdresser, she would probably introduce that new partner to the Christine Wise and say, oh, do have a chat with Christine, because Christine's a hairdresser, she's a hairdresser. She is more than likely going to have more rapport and empathy than ever with you. So that's the other reason we buddy up. So Helen Linford is on here. Elaine and Helen work together. They're buddies. They're not in the same team, but it helps. That's the reason we do this stuff, because we all need help, because this can be a lonely business. It can be lonely. And it's really important to get people in front of people. So you've brought them on, you've done the fast start plan. Now, what you mustn't do is just then kind of come off that fast start and you're like that. Well, I hope they make some calls. No. That's never going to work. You've got to coach them. You've got to coach them. You've got to actually have some practice with them. Do a little bit of role play. Everyone hates role play, but you need to. You need to give them that script, let them digest it, and then say, right, let's come back on. Let's discuss it. Let's go through it. You may want to rewrite it in your own language, but it's still the same thing. That is really important. Now, we can't make the calls for them at all. We can't. But we can coach and help them. All right, that's very, very important. And there's another reason that you need to keep in contact. It's consistency. You keep hearing this. Consistency is an important thing. If you, let's give it you in another way. Imagine you got yourself a job. My God, I can't think of anything more depressing than me getting a job. But imagine you got a job, okay? And they kind of gave you a manual and gave you all this theory and said, watch these videos, do this training, and then get on with it. It just wouldn't happen, would it? It doesn't happen. Actually, you usually have some form of trainer or coach. That's why I call it an apprenticeship, because they're going to be earning a little bit while they're learning, and they need someone to help them. So this is so important about keeping in touch. Now, my lady that's got going, and I'll share this with you because I share the good stuff and the bad stuff. So in October, it was October, I brought in 7, and of the 7, only 2 are going. You'd say that's dreadful, absolutely dreadful. It is pretty bad, but I have been ringing these people and I've really been trying to get them going. But for most of them, they lack courage. That's what it is. It's courage. Courage to make those first few calls. And the emphasis I constantly say is, please, 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 These are not calls that you're aiming to get a result. These are practice. They're just pure practice. Okay. Thank you very much there, Chris. Pure practice, all right? It's really important, because if somebody realizes that all they're after is practice when they make that call and say, look, I've got this coach, she's going to help me get off the theory and move into practical, and in order to do so, I've actually got to have real people to practice on. And I often say tell them that they're going to be a live human guinea pig. Because actually the best thing in the world is somebody genuinely seeing something for the first time and asking genuine questions, because otherwise it's all fake, isn't it? That's why they need the practice. And I think if you explain it to them like this, there's more chance that they're going to make some calls. Now, the other thing too is, even in between the appointments, you've got to keep in touch by whatever method of communication they prefer. Now, there are some people that all they want to do is what I call text, whether that's Messenger, WhatsApp, text message, whatever. All they ever want to do is that. Now, that's fine, but they don't get much of that back from me. I will do it, but I'll also do the voice note if I can, because I want them to hear my voice. Because sometimes a message can be so misconstrued, it's not true. It could really be taken the wrong way. And I've learned to my detriment. I've done some of that stuff. Okay. So what's the difference between somebody that's successful getting somebody going and someone that isn't? Now, there's only about 20% are successful at getting people going, getting them going. And the 80% sadly don't. Now, what makes the difference? What it is that the 20% do it more consistently. They don't hit the gym once a month. They go every morning. Yeah, does that make sense? What is it Rob Barra says? You can't get a great body like this if you go once a month. Yeah, you've actually got to do something a lot. And it may seem really hard thinking, oh, I've got to ring that person again. Oh, I could be ringing them at the wrong time. Actually, do you know what? You cannot say the wrong thing to the right person. I promise you that. That was something I learned from others a long time ago. So that's so vital. And if they don't want you calling, believe me, somebody will soon say, you'll soon get feedback that it's too much. But better to be enthusiastic and caring and offering than not be. Yeah. So every single day with Asha, every day, she and I at some point have touched base once or twice, at least every day. So this lady is on her way, and I know, and I think I sent it out to some of the teams, watch this space. She's going to be a leader. She's excited. She only wanted £250 a month. She's now in her first month. Her first paycheck on the 21st of December is going to be £1,250 so far. She might even blow me over, and all of a sudden another message will come in. I've got another one. All right, because she's excited. And maybe there's something we can learn from this lady. Maybe when we do our fast start plans, perhaps the expectation, the goal is set too high. Maybe it's set too high. How many, when you do the fast start plan, say, oh, I want 2,000 plus a month? It's there. And then if they don't hit it, they're deeply disappointed. Whereas she said to me, I want £250. And on the second one, she doubled her goal. On the third one, she tripled it. When she hit 4, it was just amazing. And now she's on 5. So maybe there's something to be learned from that. Maybe we shouldn't kind of set the goal too high. I'm just going to have a look at this. I've got stuff coming in. Let me have a look at the chats. Do you do the fast start plan before or after they complete the getting started? Okay, so I never do the fast start plan before they do getting started. Right, top tip. I tell them they are not allowed, they cannot join UW unless they can promise me they can do about a 1.5 hour online training within 48 hours. If they can't promise me that, I don't let them join. Because what I'm going to do, if I let them join and they can't do it, I'm taking away part of their first 30 days, which is not fair on them. Okay, so actually don't get to the point where you're grabbing somebody because you desperately want a partner. No, you don't. You don't want a partner. You want somebody that you can help. There's a different emphasis there. What you're looking for is people looking out. Who else can I help? Who might be really good? Now, let me share this with you. So we're up in Northumberland on this wonderful retreat. And on the Saturday night, we decided we were going out for a meal. And I think this was a serendipitous moment. All right. Serendipity happens. And I think this is one of them. I was trying to get hold of a particular Indian restaurant in a place called Anik. And I looked it up on Trustpilot. It had great reviews. It was called the Bay Leaf. But when I rang the number, it said it was an incorrect number. So that one was no good. Then there was one called Mumbai. And I've learned today that Mumbai was a sister to the one that I did phone, another restaurant. Anyway, Mumbai, I rang and there was no answer. And we were in a place called Barter Bookshops, which evidently is the most famous secondhand bookshop in the world. It was really interesting. And then I saw that there was one called Sheer Calm, this restaurant. I looked it up on Trustpilot. This is Lisa in modus operandus. This is me. Don't go anywhere without Trustpilot. And it had good reviews. It had 4.5 stars. That was good. Lots of great I thought, yeah, that'll do. I rang it and I got asked, booked in for a really early meal, 5:15. We got there and we were served by a gentleman and his name was Samuel. And Samuel didn't look like the rest of them and he didn't speak like the rest of them. They all had this weird kind of Geordie Newcastle accent, which I can't do. Is it Newcastle? Something like that. Anyway, he didn't speak like that. He sounded like he came straight out of somewhere like Jamaica, but he didn't. When he served us, I started asking questions. And actually, it was Juan that asked. He said, "You're not from round here." He said, No. He said, "I'm from the Bahamas." I said, "Oh, right." And I'll cut it short. I asked a lot of questions. And the questions came out. This was not his passion. He was a PT trainer, personal trainer. And that's what he wanted to do. And he happened to throw into the conversation, "Oh, I'm looking for a business, but everything is saturated." Do you know what? I could hardly contain myself inside. Can you imagine? I was smiling. Every molecule of me was smiling, but I kept myself cool. And I said to him, "Well, lucky for you." I said, "Possibly this is your lucky day." I said, "Because I'm a recruiter for my company." And I said, "I'm looking for people that want something that is going to give them financial stability." And I could see that his ears pricked up. He said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I tell you what," I said, "Samuel, I've got no cards on me. That was a trick I learned off West Linden years ago." I said, "Samuel, let me just take your name and I'll send you a little video, only a couple of minutes. And if you like what you see, then great." So he gave me his name and I put Samuel and I put Sheer Khan because that was my reference and his number. And when later on we got back to the hotel, I sent him the Mies 3-minute video on the UW stories, because it included Dalton Powell, who's a sports trainer. So that's a good link. Anyway, 11 o'clock, 11:15, Samuel finishes his shift and he instantly replies, "I'm interested. I've watched it." So I sent him the 6-minute how you earn the 3 types of income: customer bonus, royalty, and group royalty. And I get back, "I'm interested." So I then, and I can't remember it was, I think it was Sunday night when we finally got home after the long drive, I sent him on a text message because I was aware it was the evening and it was Sunday, and said, "So you're still interested? So then what we ought to do is we ought to meet up on something like Zoom." And I just said, "Are you available either tomorrow," which was yesterday, Monday, after 2, or are you available Tuesday up to 2? Alternative close. And he replied back, "Let's do Tuesday at 2. Samuel Barron, as I now know him, and I've got all his details, Samuel has joined as a partner. And I've already set the fast start plan for tomorrow at 4:30. This is getting it going fast. And I shall be in touch with him every single day. Every single day. I shall speak to him every day, because that's the only way it's going to get going. So to say what gives us a better chance with someone, I think it's communication, it's keeping in contact, and most importantly, more than anything, I think it's actually speaking to people. I don't think there's any short change to it. So look, if you want to unmute, has anybody got any questions on this? Because we've gone 4 minutes, well, 3 minutes over from when we started. Anybody got any questions? No? Well, you're all brilliant at this. You're all absolutely magic and you know what you're doing. Yes, Elaine.
So just using the Samuel as an example, you said you sent him the 6-minute video later after the short one, and then you said you had a Zoom meeting with him. So on that Zoom meeting, was that kind of your interview type questions, or did you show him a presentation on that Zoom meeting?
Right. So I said to him, what I'd like to do, Samuel, is show you exactly what we do. But I interviewed him for about 15 minutes, first of all, and I have got masses. What did I ask him on the questions? I'll tell you what it was. I was finding out, did he have contacts? Did he have the right kind of contacts that could lead him to prospects? So I said to him, who are your clients as a personal trainer? And I was expecting him to say kind of wealthy people. No, they were students. So I said to him, so they're mostly students, but students don't pay bills. And he went, no, but their parents do. And I said, so you're already thinking on the right lines. And he said, anyway, he said, I've got loads of people. He said, I know I've only been from the Bahamas in 3 years, but he said, I joined my 2 brothers. And he said, they have got an established network of people, friends, work colleagues. And he said, most of them own homes. He said, they're going to be my target. So I'm establishing right at the beginning, are these people that have got a chance, a winning chance of making this work? Because if they don't know anyone, if they have trouble talking, because in that interview, I wanted him to do more talking than me. And I got asking open questions because I wanted to see, did he have the temerity and had he enough personality to be able to deal with people that he didn't know as well? And then I said to him, right, let's show you what we do. And all I did was the presentation, went through it. And when we got to the last bit, I said to him, so it says here, what's best for you? Is it save as a customer, earn as a partner, or both? And he said, well, I don't pay bills because I'm living with my brother. But he said, he'll be my first customer. But he said, I want to earn as a partner. I said, okay. So Samuel, did you pick up on something really easy? He said, what's that? I said, did you notice that I read exactly the words on the screen without changing them? He said, yeah, you did, didn't you? I said, do you think you can do that? He said, yes, I think I can. And I said, right, brilliant. So what I've done is he's come on, he's going to do the fast start plan. And that was the question that's just come in. It's the fast start plan. It says 30 minutes on the site, doesn't it? On our partner portal. I never say 30 minutes. I tell them I want them for a whole hour, because we might spend 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes on getting his goal why, although I've already got most of it already. So I usually get that done in 10. I spend 50 odd minutes all about building a list, getting not 20 names, getting into 30 at least, because the bigger the list, the bigger they're going to feel that they've got more people to contact. And then I spend time coaching them about those calls, coaching, giving the psychology behind the words in the script. That, I think, is priceless. And that's where the time's spent. Guys, I'm ever so aware we've gone over and I don't wish to go anymore. But there will be another one, same time, same place. And I hope that's been helpful. And see you Tuesday next week in December. Happy Christmas. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Lisa.